What is up, everybody? It's Dante Walton here, and today we're going to do a little video, kind of some last minute predictions for the Game Awards. The way I think I'm going to structure this video is like the first half is me like going through the website and seeing all the nominees and seeing who I think will win that. Then the second half will probably be like what announcements I think will be made during the Game Awards. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more gaming related content and movie related content, including a brand new series I have called Walton News Network, which is a comedic take on a news show. Alright, so just to let you guys know, these esports categories, I do not really follow esports at all, so these are kind of going to be like just like wild guesses, kind of, or just, I don't know. So for best esports team, let's see, we have Damwon Gaming, Dallas Empire, G2 Esports, San Francisco Shock, Team Secret. I'm just gonna guess. I don't know. Damwon Gaming for League of Legends. Okay, I think they might win. Best esports host, Golden Boy, Machine. I think that's Shocks. I think. Dash and Shiver. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Shocks won last year. So I don't know. I'm just gonna guess her again. So maybe she might win 2 years in a row. Maybe it'll be someone else, but my prediction will be Shocks wins again. Best esports game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Fortnite, League of Legends, Valorant. I'll just guess League of Legends. See, best esports event, Blast Premier Spring 2020 European Finals, Call of Duty League Championship 2020. I am Katowice. I don't know if I pronounced that right, sorry. 2020, League of Legends World Championship 2020, Overwatch League Grand Finals 2020. I'll just say Blast Premier Spring 2020 European Finals. Honestly, didn't see any of those, so I have no idea. Best esports coach, again, like I have no idea. Zonic, Krusty, Grabs, Zephyr, or Rambo. I'll just say Rambo. I don't know why, but Rambo. Best esports athlete, Crim6, Showmaker, Canyon, Shotzi, Ziwu or Zywu. I'll just guess Shotzi. I don't know any of these people, to be honest. Sorry. Alright, best debut game, Carry On, Mortal Shell, Raji and Ancient Epic, Roki or Phasmophobia. I've heard the most buzz about Phasmophobia, but I don't know if he'll win. I haven't played any of these games. Oh, I should say I've barely played any new games this year at all. So most of these games I have not played at all. So I'm just gonna be based on like what I've heard and like what I think like the conversation's been and what I think maybe like video game critics and people in the industry might vote for. So for this one, I might say Raji and Ancient Epic. I don't know. It seems like an interesting game, one that people might like. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if Phasmophobia, or I've also heard stuff about Carry On also. But my guess is still going to be, my prediction is Raji. Content Creator of the Year, Alana Pierce, Jayan Lopez, Nick Merckx, Tim the Tatman, Valkyrie. My guess is going to be, and who I also want to win also, is Alana Pierce. She works like with a lot of different like companies. She works within games sometimes. I know she's in Cyberpunk. I think she just got a job at Sony Santa Monica. So she seems like she's like really well liked, and she like appears in a lot of different places. Yeah, I'm gonna guess Alana Pierce. Also, who I want to win too. I'm a fan of hers. Best multiplayer. Let's see: Animal Crossing, Among Us, which is a strong contender, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys, Valorant. Even though Among Us didn't come out this year, I don't think games have to come out the year they're nominated, but it made like a big splash this year. I'm gonna guess Among Us is gonna win this one. Yeah. Even though I personally haven't played it, I know it's a huge hit. I know a lot of people like it a lot. So I think it has a really good chance of winning that. Best sports or racing. Let's see. Dirt 5, F1 2020, FIFA 21, NBA 2K21, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. and 2, I should say. Yeah, I think like games like FIFA or NBA 2K, they don't usually like win these awards. I think they often give it to like sports games. I mean, racing games. But I have a feeling because I think last year they gave it to Crash Tag Team. So like in a similar way of like a kind of like a remaster of like a classic game, I think they might give it to Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dirt or F1 win also, because racing games tend to win this. But my official prediction is going to be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. So, best sim or strategy: Crusaders Kings 3, Desperados 3, Gears Tactics, Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is interesting, XCOM Chimera Squad. Believe it or not, I'm going to predict Microsoft Flight Simulator. I haven't played any of these games. But I heard like a lot of like people were pretty impressed with Microsoft Flight Simulator, so let's see. I think that has a good chance of taking it. Best family game: we have Animal Crossing, Crash Bandicoot 4, Fall Guys, Mario Kart Live, Minecraft Dungeons, and Paper Mario: The Origami King. I think this one is Animal Crossing's category to lose. I mean, it's nominated for Game of the Year. I think this one, yeah, I think it's gonna be Animal Crossing. I'd be kind of surprised if it's not Animal Crossing, to be honest. Best fighting. This one's a little bit trickier for me. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, which just came out, I think, recently. Street Fighter V Champion Edition. I honestly don't know the difference between Street Fighter V and the Champion Edition. One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows. Or this last game I honestly haven't heard of before. Under Night and Birth EXE Late CLR. I don't know if I said that name right. That's kind of a mouthful. I could see it going to Grand Blue, but I honestly think I'll just go to Mortal Kombat 11. I think they added like a lot of interesting characters, and I don't know that that's not how they base on what's the best fighting game and all that, but I can see that one winning. If not that, then Grand Blue. But my official prediction would be Mortal Kombat 11. Although, if Under Night wins, I wouldn't know how to feel because I honestly don't know the game. I'm not familiar with it. So I don't know like how well received it is or anything. But still, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate is my pick. Best role-playing: Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland, or Yakuza Like a Dragon. Now, you would think just because only one of these games is nominated for Game of the Year, being Final Fantasy VII Remake, that has the best chance of winning, but honestly, I don't know. Persona 5 Royal was very, very highly acclaimed. I know it's like a fan favorite game, so I could actually see that one taking it over Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, it's funny sometimes. Like sometimes something that's nominated for Game of the Year, or even in the Oscars, like nominated for Best Picture, will like lose in a category, like another category that's nominated in. I could see that happening this year. So my guess is gonna be Persona 5 Royal, but I wouldn't be surprised if Final Fantasy VII takes this. But Persona 5 Royal is my pick. Best Action Adventure. This one's a little tough too. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, or Last of Us Part 2. My initial thoughts are between Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2. I think Ghost of Tsushima. I know Last of Us Part 2, like the people that loved it a lot. But I also know there's quite a few people that didn't like certain aspects of the game, so I don't know. I think Ghost of Tsushima will win that one. Best Action: Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, or Streets of Rage 4. Interesting. Yeah, I think Hades will win this one. If not Hades, Doom Eternal. But Hades, I think, was like a surprise hit. A lot of people really liked it. A lot of people think that should be like Game of the Year. So I think he'll go to Hades. Innovation and accessibility. This is a category that I'm familiar with the games nominated here, but I'm not sure like why they're nominated for innovation and accessibility. So this will be another like guess. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna guess Last of Us Part Two. I honestly, this is just a guess, to be honest. Best VR or AR: Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel's Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons, Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. I think this one will go to Half-Life Alyx. The only other game that I think stands a chance against Half-Life Alyx is Dreams, but I think Half-Life Alyx will. I think we'll get this one comfortably. Best community support. Another thing that I'm not too familiar with how the community support for these individual games are, but I am familiar with all these games. So it's Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, or Valorant. My initial thoughts are in between Fall Guys or Fortnite. I'm just gonna say, I know Fortnite's been nominated before for this category, but I'll give it a Fall Guys. Again, that one's a guess. Best mobile game: Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, or Pokemon Cafe Mix. Yeah, I think this is between Among Us or Genshin Impact. And I think, not sure. I think Among Us might like get the win in that one. So my guess will be Among Us, but I wouldn't be surprised if Genshin Impact. Or Legends of Runeterra, I've heard like some good stuff about that too, but I think Among Us. Best Indie: Carry On, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Hades, Spelunky 2, or Spiritfarer. Yeah, I think Hades has this one. It is nominated for Game of the Year. Again, a lot of people really, really like it, so I'm saying Hades. But I've also heard really good things about Spelunky 2, but I still think Hades wins. Best Ongoing: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, or No Man's Sky. I could see this going to Fortnite or No Man's Sky. I know No Man's Sky has added a lot of like free features to the game, and had actually some good support too. So maybe that will win community support. But no, I'll stick with my previous pick. But for this one, I think No Man's Sky, just because of the amount of features I know they've added. I haven't played it since launch, but yeah, I know they've added. It's a long story of why you can't play it anymore, but yeah, I know they added a lot of stuff to it since then. Games for Impact. Let's see. There's If Found, Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition, Spiritfarer, Tell Me Why, Through the Darkest of Times. I have not played either of these games, so I don't know like what the pro-social meaning or message is for each individual game, but off top, I think Spiritfarer or Tell Me Why. I'm gonna go for Spiritfarer because I know it's nominated for some other awards this year, so I think Spiritfarer. Best performance. This should be interesting. Ashley Johnson as Ellie in Last of Us Part 2. Laura Bailey as Abby, Last of Us Part 2. Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai in Ghost of Tsushima. Logan Cunningham as Hades in Hades. Or Nadji Jeter as Miles Morales in Spider-Man Miles Morales. My initial thoughts are someone from Last of Us Part 2 might win. As for whether it's Ashley Johnson or Laura Bailey, I've heard good things about both of their performances, but I've heard like especially Laura Bailey was really strong. Even for people that didn't like the game, they like say that her performance was great as the character. So I'm gonna predict Laura Bailey. Best audio design, which I think Animal Crossing should have been nominated for this, but whatever. Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, or Last of Us Part 2. If I had to guess, I would say either Ghost of Tsushima or Last of Us, but I'm gonna go for Ghost of Tsushima for this one. Yeah. Best score in music. Doom Eternal, which I've heard a lot about the score for that game. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Last of Us Part 2. Because I've heard so much buzz about Doom Eternal's music, I'm gonna guess it's Doom Eternal's gonna win this, but haven't played any of these games also, so yeah, I'm just gonna guess Doom Eternal. And I had heard a little bit of the music of the game, and it is pretty good. Best art direction, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Last was Part 2. Just based on like personal preference and just from what I've seen of the game, I think Ori or Hades has like the stronger art direction, and I think others will probably vote that Hades has the best art direction out of these 5 games. So I'm gonna go for Hades. Best narrative. Let's see, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, or Last of Us Part 2. Now, talking about Last of Us Part 2, I know one issue a lot of people had with it was like the story itself. So I don't know if there's like enough people who didn't like the story that would prevent it from winning it. So because of that, I'm going to predict that's not going to win Best Narrative. So that kind of, in my mind, leaves Hades or Ghost of Tsushima for Best Narrative. And I'm just going to go for Ghost of Tsushima to win this category. I think we're almost done here, yeah. Best Game Direction. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Last of Us Part 2. I'm honestly going to go Last of Us Part 2 for this. Neil Druckmann, I believe, is the director of that. I think he's like a well-liked person, I think, and I don't know, I don't think it was the directing of the game that people had an issue with, like for the people that did have issues with the game. So I can see this one winning. And finally, Game of the Year. Let's see. Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Last of Us Part 2. I personally would like Animal Crossing to win, but I don't think it will. I think it's honestly down to 3 different games here. Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Last of Us Part 2. Because of the slightly like polarizing views of Last of Us Part 2, I don't know if that will win. So I'm just gonna guess Ghost of Tsushima will win, but I wouldn't be too shocked if Hades won. But my official prediction would be Ghost of Tsushima. All right. So that's what I think will win. Now on to some of the things I think will be announced for this next segment here. Some of these are kind of things that I'm predicting, like just because I think it would happen, and some of these are kind of things I'm predicting because I kind of want them to happen, you know. The first thing is a new trailer or a gameplay for Bayonetta 3. So it's been like almost 3 years since they first revealed Bayonetta 3. That was like the Game Awards 2017, and they haven't shown anything of it since. So I think it's definitely about time for them to show more of that game. I think the Game Awards is a great place to show it off. So that's one thing I'm predicting. Another thing, Fortnite, I think will have they've had a presence in the last few Game Awards, and they already like announced and I think he's already been released. Kratos from God of War is in Fortnite, so that's like a Sony representative in Fortnite. There's all these rumors and supposed leaks of Master Chief also being in there, and as of time of recording this, I don't think that's been like officially announced. So if that is real, I can definitely see that being announced at the Game Awards, which leads to something else. So a Microsoft character and a Sony character. That means like, is there going to be a Nintendo character or not? And if they are, I think that would be a good place to announce one too. Like have a big trailer with all 3 of those characters: Kratos, Master Chief, and whoever the Nintendo character is. A lot of people were guessing Samus. I honestly think that's a pretty good guess, I think. Unless there's like some sort of leak that I don't know about, but a lot of people are guessing Samus. I think maybe because like she has like the arm cannon and she'll like work well with like using guns and whatnot. She'll like fit more than like someone, and she has like the right like body size and type to fit in with like the other human characters, more so than someone like Mario would or something. or like definitely like Kirby or an Animal Crossing character wouldn't work. So I think Samus would be a good choice. If not Samus, then strongly believe like a Legend of Zelda character could make it in, or it'd be also cool if Captain Falcon, but I think Samus is probably the safest choice if there were to be a Nintendo character announced for Fortnite. Speaking of Nintendo, one of the best moments I think of Game Awards history was in 2018, which was, and the Game Awards 2018 was the night right before they were Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was released, and they had a surprise reveal trailer for the first paid DLC, which was Joker from Persona 5. So I'm hoping and kind of predicting that there's going to be another Smash DLC fighter like reveal. So I don't know if it's just coincidence that Joker was revealed there and that was like a character from a rated M game. So maybe they're kind of saving some of like the more mature characters for places like the Game Awards instead of like a Nintendo Direct or something. But if that is the case, some other like rated M characters that I think that would appeal for the Game Awards, I think, would be like Doom Guy, which a lot of people have been talking about, which I think would be a good choice, or Master Chief, which would be just like an explosive mode in the Game Awards. Doom Guy could also happen because Doom Eternal was nominated this year. Or maybe Dante from Devil May Cry. A lot of people thought that was going to happen. I remember like when Byleth was going to be revealed, a lot of people were so certain that was going to be Dante from Devil May Cry. I could see that happening too. That was nominated like, I forgot if that was last year or the year before. Devil May Cry 5. And if it was Joker just because like they thought that was like Persona 5 was a game that appealed to like the Game Awards and it was nominated and all this. Some other characters that aren't like rated M characters that I think could fit or is like Sora from Kingdom Hearts. People would go crazy for that. Well, I guess this next character has some rated M games, but Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden, another character that's heavily speculated on. I think people here would like it. Or if they ever announce Geno, I think this would be a cool place because it has a lot of, I think like a more of like an older audience than a typical like Nintendo Direct or something. So more people would actually know that character here than I think generally would like in a Nintendo Direct maybe. I don't know if I'm off base with that, but that's just my thoughts. I'm just hoping any DLC character, even if it's just like a Nintendo character, which I was gonna say I'll be disappointed, but not really. But I think if it's the Game Awards, you have to have like some sort of unexpected crossover, or like some big crossover. So something like Doom or Halo, or Kingdom Hearts, something like that. Like a crossover with Smash Bros would be huge. I think out of all those, Sora or Master Chief would be like the biggest, like have the biggest reaction I think out of people. Master Chief because that's like a Microsoft character, and Sora just because Kingdom Hearts is massive, but also Disney. That means they worked with Disney and they worked it out to get a character in here. Another thing I'm hoping / predicting would be another trailer or maybe even gameplay for whatever the sequel of the Breath of the Wild is going to be called. I remember in Game Awards, I think it was 2016, they had the very first like gameplay for what became Breath of the Wild. So I think now would be like another like a nice chance to show off the sequel. And I think they also announced the DLC for Breath of the Wild during the Game Awards too. So yeah, I think it's about time. And if it comes out, if Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever the sequel ends up being called comes out like at the same time, like around the same time as the original Breath of the Wild, which was in March, I think now would be like a good time to show off like gameplay or another trailer to hype people up for like springtime if that game releases that soon. If we're talking about Nintendo, like another Nintendo related thing that would be I think would be cool to announce is like a new system or new system for Nintendo Switch Online members. Right now we only have Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo, and it's been like over a year. I think September 2019 when they added SNES, which was like a year after they first added NES. So I think we're due for like another system to be added. I think this would be a cool place to show it off. Honestly hoping for Nintendo 64, but I think something like Game Boy is like more likely to happen, especially because they just released, well, a few months ago, the Mario 3D All Stars collection, and Super Mario 64 was a part of that. instead of having some sort of like Nintendo 64 like game library as part of Nintendo Switch Online. So hopefully they announce like a new system, probably Game Boy, hopefully Nintendo 64 or something like that. And like the final thing that I think would happen is like a new Spyro the Dragon game. Like I remember 2 years ago, I believe, in Game Awards 2018, they announced Crash Tag Team Racing Nitro. What's it called? Nitro Fueled. Yeah. Crash Bandicoot 4 is nominated this year for Best Family Game. I mean, both Crash and Spyro had like their remastered trilogies, like made by Toys for Bob. They were well received. I'm pretty sure they sold well. Crash got his new game already. I think it's time for Spyro to get like a new platformer game. It's been years, I think, since the last one. I think Toys for Bob would probably be making one. I think this would be a good like place to show it off, you know. There's like a few other things that I think could happen, but I'm honestly not holding my breath for, like Metroid Prime 4 trailer or something, or the trilogy, the rumored like Metroid Prime trilogy collection. If that's even real, like that could be shown off, but I'm honestly not holding out too much hope for that. Hey everybody, Dante Walton from the future here. There's some other predictions that I realized I forgot to mention while I was editing the video, so I'll just say them here. So since Kratos is in Fortnite and Master Chief might be in there, I think this will be like a good time to show off like a new trailer for Halo Infinite and for God of War 2 or Ragnarok or whatever it's going to be ending up being called. Also, if Samus is like a Nintendo character that gets into Fortnite, I think that leads more credence to like another Metroid trailer being shown off, whether it's Metroid Prime Trilogy or Metroid Prime 4 or even like a new 2D Metroid game. There's been some like talk about that also. Also, DLC like for I think maybe Spider-Man Miles Morales. Like I know the game only came out like less than a month ago, but I think I don't know, like why not announce like some new DLC if they're planning on it. So yeah, they can just like even tease it out or whatever, because that's a game that's nominated for multiple awards, the Game Awards this year. I could see that, and like some few other things that aren't really like game announcements, but I can totally see happening, like some sort of like movie tie-in, either with a game or just with the Game Awards itself. I remember like it must have been like last year, I guess, when they said that they're gonna show off like a little bit of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker like during Fortnite. I think that was announced during the Game Awards. So some sort of movie tie-in. I know they had the Fast and Furious game also last year, and they had Vin Diesel come out, and Michelle Rodriguez too, I think was there. So I think that would happen. Like repetitive ads. Last year I remember they had like a lot of the same ads like every commercial break. Somebody crying during their speech, I think would happen. Since I'm assuming like the people will be giving like virtual speeches, I'm sure. Like if they're at home, like they'll probably show their pet. Someone will show their pet. Another thing that happens like every year, either like a presenter or somebody is gonna mispronounce either a game or like one of the nominees. So I think that's gonna happen. But other than that, yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of surprises, like games no one even thought about, games we didn't even know existed, like brand new IPs, sequels, reboots, remasters, whatever, prequels. But yeah, I'm really excited to check it out. That's gonna be tomorrow night. I'm planning on doing a live stream reaction to the entire Game Awards. I've never done a reaction like that long before, so let's see how it goes. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do that here on this YouTube channel. So look out for that. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.